Welcome to Same Spit, Different Face TV. Well, my opinions is facts, and if you don't like my opinions, you can start your own podcast. And it's free. So don't forget to spit on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification. Now, we all know that Joe Budden went through a court case not too long ago, and basically it was for walking nude in the hallway. He allegedly went up to somebody else's door, was allegedly shaking the handle. He was allegedly naked because he's sleeping a nude. And although some of these things turned out to be true, he was found to not be guilty. And when I say some of the things seem to be true, I mean like him sleepwalking, him walking out the apartment naked, him walking up to their door. Now, one of the weird things that they did was they actually filed a picture of him being naked in the hallway inside of the petition, which has to be some type of violations of his rights. I know it's certain things in the picture when it's not privy to be seen, they actually just send that over to the judge through email or send it to the judge secretary, and just so the judge can be able to see it as evidence. But that's not something that's supposed to be able to be put under public matter. And I think that's something they did to be spiteful, because they actually lost the criminal trial. Because if they win the criminal trial, it makes it much easier for them to get that civil suit. Now, one of the things the people are actually doing, they took one of his clips off of Patreon, and they used it, allegedly trying to use it as evidence to basically say, yo, he's been trying to bother us the whole time. They have one where he played music very loud, and they say he played it for like 8 minutes straight. Were they home or not during this time? That's something, if I'm Joe Budden lawyer, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to get those cameras, or I'm trying to figure out what their schedule is. I'm trying to find a PI and see if they were actually at home at this time, and did it actually bother them. Maybe it did, or maybe it didn't. But this lawsuit also referenced Melissa Ford, and the reason it referenced Melissa Ford is because it appears she said something about them on the actual pod anyway. But the thing that they have to come to is that they never actually said their name. They never really gave a description of them. The only description they gave was like, hey, this racist couple who live in here keep bothering us all the time, etc., etc. So unless you actually racist, you can't say, oh, they had to be talking about us. It's so many other people who live in that building. But Joe also owns a whole bunch of apartments inside of this building. So I think he maybe own like two, at least two, but it could be up to four. So, you know, when he come into the building, he gets treated maybe a little bit differently than those people actually get treated. And those people have been having alleged issues with other people inside of the group, and those people seem to be people who keep up issues. But one thing you have to understand about a lot of those high rise and high price buildings, it's old money in there. It's people who've had money passed down from generation to generations, and a lot of times, even though the black person may not be any threat to them, they just don't want to live around them, because when they think about black people, they think that they come with a lot of different issues and a lot of different just hood type stuff, right? And sometimes we can look at the NBA player. We look at somebody like SGA. If y'all don't know who SGA is, just go Google and watch him do a press conference. Now, when you look at him from the surface, he got the braids in his head, he dark skinned. You might think, oh man, he probably from a project somewhere in New York, or a project somewhere in Chicago. But then you actually hear him speak, and then you do a little background information. You be like, oh, he's from Canada. Oh man, he sounds like he went to one of the best schools in Canada, and he has a great education, and he's well rounded. But a lot of times, just based off the perception of who you are, how you dress, the type of cars you drive, that can put you in a place where before people even meet you or any know anything about you, they start trying to judge you and size you up to who you are. So I think this is a case of that. I think this is a case of Joe Budden being sized up. Now, critical that he made that mistake and actually was sleepwalking and went over to their door. Yeah, but will he get this civil suit? I'm not gonna lie. If the picture is allowed into court, I think he may lose it, because one thing I think they trying to go on, they're not trying to basically go on the fact that he actually did this on purpose, and they're not doing that anymore. But they're basically trying to say that they were caused a lot of stress by this situation, and because of the stress, they should be paid damages. And when you look at it, they do have a camera. He did accidentally stumble out the apartment into the hallway. He did actually end up at their door trying to get in. And at this point, this isn't criminal. You can't prove that it didn't stress them out. You can't prove that they didn't feel how they felt in that moment, you can't prove that they didn't feel like he may have been trying to do something with them, to them, not with them, but to them, and not in the crazy way they were saying, but showing up to maybe fight or something like that. But it's one of those situations where we just gotta let it play out, let it show, let it be what it's gonna be. And if you want me to keep you updated with this Joe Budden case, you know what you need to do. You need to hit that subscribe button, and you made it to the end of this video, so you might as well hit the like button. Check out my original Chicago hood movie in the end screen, No Time to Play Fair. If you into sneakers, you a sneakerhead, you love seeing the new Jordans, Pumas, whatever it may be, subscribe to Kicking It with Fairplay 2333. If you trying to follow me on my basketball journey, my weightlifting and fitness journey, and also be inspired to get back on your fitness journey, subscribe to Fairplay, Flex, and Fadeaway. Also, any of these pages I just named, you can also find them on TikTok or Instagram.